Everyone knows what a realtor is, but a lot of people don't know what they do or how they get paid to do it. In this video, you'll come out with an understanding of how they do both. So, as a realtor myself, most people understand that we help you find a home. So that would be in the home search. Now, with the days of Zillow, a lot of people can find home themselves, and that's everything that's on the market. And with that, a lot of people will look at the search of a home and say that a realtor is kind of redundant in that. But what a lot of people don't understand is there's also other ways to find homes. The number one way that realtors can add to the search for you is to find off-market properties. Now, this is the number one reason why a lot of people look into realtors to search, is because if you're a well-connected realtor, you'll know not only the things that are on the market, but things that are off the market as well. On top of that is you also know what is coming soon. So with that, and especially in a place like San Diego where I work at, there's a lot of competition when it comes into the homes that go on the market. Things are starting to soften now, but in past few months, it's where there's, multiple offers in the first day. So with that is, if you know what's coming, you can maybe be the first person in, or maybe even write an offer before it's on the market. Again, that really helps when you have a well-connected realtor, because if they know, personally hundreds or thousands of realtors and are keeping up with them in contact, they'll know what's coming to the market. That way, if you're working with them, you're going to have just even more of a database of homes to search for. Now, another thing that realtors are really good at searching, well, at least some of them, is expired listings. So with this is, these are homes that were on the market but didn't sell, or maybe they canceled or anything of that nature. So if a home expires, let's say a home expired 1 month ago, that means as of 1 month and 1 day ago, that seller was looking to sell their home. Maybe they didn't get the price, maybe they didn't get the terms that they wanted, but other than that, is we know that they wanted to sell. So if you have a really good realtor, they can also search expired listings and, reach out to either the listing agent or the seller and see if, you were able to write an offer. Would that be something that they'd still be interested in? Now, another way a really good realtor can help you save money is through pre-approval. Now, you might be thinking, well, a realtor doesn't really have anything to do with getting pre-approved. But if you have a well-connected realtor, they can put you in contact with a bunch of different lenders. And with that, similar to the search for homes, is if you are working with a good realtor, their job is to unlock value and unlock savings for you. So with the homes, going through the off-market properties, the coming soon properties, the expired properties, and other ways to look for homes, such as I didn't mention earlier, but Instagram, social media, things of that nature. Again, this is unlocking even better terms for you in your loan. So say you go to your first lender and you get, as of right now, it's about average to get a 7% interest rate and whatever terms that you are able to get with that lender. What a well-connected realtor can do is put you in contact with a second, third, fourth, fifth, or more lenders. That way you can shop around and be able to get an even lower mortgage than you already have approved with the first lender. So now when you're looking at homes, because you just got pre-approved, you're going to be writing offers on homes. Now this is one of the biggest parts of why you want to work with a great realtor, because number one is they have access to talking to the listing agent, and with that they can also negotiate on your behalf. Now, why this is so good is, with negotiation, so many people look at it and they'll see a home that's $500,000 and consider, okay, what if I offer $490,000? But really, there's a lot more pillars to the actual negotiation. So one, obviously, is going to be the price of the home. Another one is how quickly to close on a home. Then you can also talk about the closing cost of a home. You can also talk about the seller's motivation. You can also talk about the market. You can also talk about inspections. You can also talk about contingencies. And really, the list goes on, contingencies. of things that you can talk about. Number one, obviously being price, but when you're really getting into the nuts and bolts of the negotiation, is there's so many aspects that you can hit. And that's why when you're working with a good realtor, they're going to be able to negotiate that for your best interest. Also with that, the one that I like to go back to is the sellers. When you're in the industry and you're working in the industry and you're having a conversation and you understand fully what the sellers want, because you also work with sellers and buyers, you understand what on the buyer side is going to make that seller happy. So let's say you have a seller who wants to, they're maybe wanting to use this home to help buy a second home. They're still kind of looking for another home, and it's going to help to buy that second home. You might not want to write an offer where you're closing in 17 days as soon as possible, but doing that thorough research and being a good realtor beforehand, you're going to be able to know that and write an offer that's even more attractive. So that is the golden star idea of being a good negotiator in real estate, is making your offer the most attractive. And like I said, there's many ways to do that, but also is in the way you package it. A lot of realtors, what they'll do is they'll just sign it over on PDF on email with no explanation. But if you're working with a good realtor, they can help the seller, or sorry, rather the selling agent, coach the seller on why the offer is what it is. And through that, explain all of these, why they hit all of these points, and also do it so that not only are you writing the best offer in your kind of benefit and what you want, but also something that is attractive to the seller as well. Now, I can't talk about offers without explaining how agents get paid. So on both sides, you have the buyer agent and then you have the listing agent. The listing agent is very easy to explain. When the agent takes a listing between the selling agent and the sellers, they negotiate or more have a conversation about how much they're going to pay the listing agent. Now, as history has shown, that's going to be anywhere between 2 and 3% of the total sale price of a home. It could be lower, it could be higher. Again, it's just what the listing agent and the sellers talk about and what's most comfortable to them. That's just what history has shown. But again, it's always negotiable. Now with the buyer, it's historically been the same amount, but there has been a big change as of August 17th of this year with the NAR settlement. So what it used to be was when a home goes on the MLS, and it obviously filters a Zillow afterwards, which is what normal people see, it would have said buyer gets paid 2.5%. But now it no longer says that. So what that means is when you write an offer as a buyer, this is your offer, you're also going to send it over with how much commission you get. So again, that's another talking point in the negotiation. Now, so far, again, it was August 17th. As of the recording of this video, I believe it's November 10th. And what I've seen on a micro level, 100% of the time the seller does give something, whether it's the full 2 to 3% or however much you decided to pay your buyer, it depends. But again, if you're working with a good agent, as of right now, it's batting pretty much 100% of the time. But if you're working with a good agent, they're going to be able to work that into the into the sale price of the negotiation. That way you don't have to pay outright. So if you are a seller, the way that you pay is out of the proceeds of the sale of the home, it will be paid. And if you're a buyer, if you're working with a good agent, what they're going to do is work your commission paid to them through, again, the proceeds from the seller. So if you're a buyer, most of the time you're not going to pay out of pocket for the agent. It's going to come from the total price of the home from the seller's proceeds. Now, when you finally get that offer accepted, you're going to be in what's called escrow. So what this is normally it is about 30 days. And this is where the money is basically going to be tied up in a third party, and you're getting all of the kind of disclosures and paperwork done in that time to transfer the title from the seller to the buyer. So in that process, you're going to have your inspections, which the realtor is going to advise you what type of inspections you're going to want to get, because you're obviously not going to need to do all of them, but there are going to be certain ones that might be beneficial in a certain home, depending on many factors like the age of the home, where it is, if it's on a canyon, if it's in a fire zone, all of these different aspects. And this is where I like to say the real estate agent is the orchestrator. So you're going to be dealing with people from a title company, lenders, escrow, the other side of the transaction, agents, transactions coordinators, and just many other assets of real estate. And with this is your realtor's job is to make sure that everyone is in line, and just making sure that throughout this process it's efficient as possible. And going back to inspections, which is a really key part of the escrow, that is where hopefully you might be saving a lot of money, because say an inspection comes back and the roof needs $50,000 in repair. That's something that you can also negotiate in the contract of the home. And this is basically where you're just getting into the home stretch. You're signing the, on average, it's around like 500 papers by the end of a home. So it's definitely going to take a lot of penmanship to get you that home. But this is where, things are getting orchestrated and you're about to close on your home. And now finally, you get to close on your home. So this is when you finally get the keys. And, just before closing, again, is going to be when your realtor really helps, because you're going to be doing the final walkthroughs, looking at the home, making sure everything is basically just packaged up through escrow. And when you have a good agent, when you close on a home, they're going to be helping you throughout the process, kind of giving you, tips and tricks on how to, continue in home ownership, things that are coming up like supplemental taxes, what your taxes are going to look like, just many other aspects, and basically just kind of help you and be a hand to hold throughout the process. And again, maybe if you have a really, really good realtor, they can also help you with moving, finding people. And throughout that, after the close, again, having a well-connected realtor, they can have, electricians, plumbers, general contractors, people to help you just maintain the home once you own it.